No, absolutely. They play some tough opponents. Iron sharpens iron, and Notre Dame has had a pretty big schedule so far, but so has Ohio State. Third straight top 10 matchup here. This place is electric. It's going to be a sellout. People still filtering in, so this is going to be one heck of a game.
Will Lynch and Tommy Burke will go in the face-off X, and Notre Dame wins the face-off to start things off in Columbus. Notre Dame 3-1 on the season. Head coached by Kevin Corrigan, the longest tenured Division I head coach. Kevin Corrigan, 36 seasons, 338 wins. National champions for the first time last season in 2023, where they went 14-2. A lot of star power and talent on this Notre Dame team. There's Jordan Faison, the Notre Dame football player, also one of the better players on this Notre Dame team. This Notre Dame team, lots of stars, and there's one of them right now. It's Kavanaugh, and it's the Pat Kavanaugh, one of the brothers for the team, 51-50, Chris and Pat, the double duo that everyone knows about in the sport. Ohio State without Bobby Van Buren, as Coach Myers calls him the eraser on this defense. 44 with a lower body injury, unavailable today. Played last week against Cornell. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Pat Kavanaugh comes up top. He's going out to fire. And just like that, the Ohio State defense clamps up.
And that's such a big opening stand for Ohio State. You talked about no Van Buren for Ohio State. The eraser, you just stick him on the best player. You don't have to worry about it. Ohio State gets the opening stop, and that's what you want to see. You got to build upon that momentum for Ohio State, because you're not going to stop Notre Dame from scoring every possession. When you get an opening stop like that, now go down, score a goal, grab some opening momentum if you're Ohio State.
Ohio State clears it with ease, 86% on the season, and their clear percentage in goal for Ohio State. It's Caleb Fyock, the freshman, who started in place of an injured Henry Blake, who we don't expect to see the rest of the season. Fyock in the top 10 in save percentage this year. And Ohio State's Ben Mayer, the leading goal scorer this season, fired one past Entenmann, and that's Liam Entenmann in goal. The ACC Defensive Player of the Year last season. He's third in the NCAA in goals averaged allowed at just 8. 55% save percentage. Entenmann is a star in the goal.
I mean, this is just going to be one heck of a goalie matchup here today. Entenmann, one of the best in the country. Fyock, a young stud so far. Didn't expect to see him so early, but he's held his own so far this season.
There's Gannon Matthews, the Cleveland State transfer, takes it back to X. 15 seconds on the shot clock for Ohio State. Their first possession of the day. Marinier, and the stop from Entenmann. It will go Notre Dame's way, so Entenmann already having an impact this early. Connor, what'd you see there?
I mean, just Notre Dame really just replicated the Ohio State defense that time on their defense possession. Didn't allow Ohio State to get a really good look at a shot. Marinier was able to find one late in the shot clock, but Entenmann just gets the stick down, knocks it away, and is able to force an Ohio State stop.
Notre Dame will move it around. Their starting attack this year, both Kavanaughs, as mentioned, and Jake Taylor, number 13. 51 points combined for this attack line. Pretty tremendous to think about. Just 3 players combined for 51 points. The Fighting Irish in their gold helmets, they'll continue. They come off a big win against Maryland last week. They were 3rd ranked in the country. Maryland higher than Notre Dame after coming off a Georgetown loss for the Fighting Irish. So a big win against a Big Ten opponent at home. So they travel to Columbus now. And we have ourselves our first goal. It's Will Angrick coming up top and fires past Fyock.
That was just a great job by Notre Dame of staying patient. Ohio State was sticking with their matchups. But you see Angrick there got free and is able to get the Fighting Irish on the board first here with 11 minutes, 11 seconds left to go. You take another look at it. Angrick just goes across the cage from right to left, gets it past Fyock, who was able to get his stick up, but it just went right over the top, and the Fighting Irish strike first.
First goal of the season for Angrick, assisted by Bussingkel. And Notre Dame has their second face-off win. Winning possessions is key. Will Lynch, third in the NCAA with a 67% face-off win percentage.
And that's just such an important matchup so far here in the face-off circle, because Tommy Burke for Ohio State, not that bad himself in the top 20. He was third at the dot last year. So that's going to be such a huge matchup to watch out for as we get on and on into this game.
Connor Camille, the captain, number 8 right there on your screen. He'll bring things up and gets into the stick of Marnier. So Ohio State on offense, what do they need to do? And who's a certain player you want to see score a goal quickly for the Buckeyes?
I think if you're Ohio State, you have to either get Ben Mayer or Gannon Matthews going. You're leading goal scorers on the season with 12. If you're able to get one of them going, that's huge. Matthews had that torrid start to the season, and Mayer also out there with 12 goals. So one of the two of them, I feel like you have to get going if you're Ohio State, if you want to get going in this game.
There's the man you just mentioned, Mayer, gives it to Jack McKenna at X. He's got the size advantage. He'll shoot it way up top. It will stay with Ohio State. 39 seconds, so plenty of time. What do you want to see drawn up right here? Do you want to see some picks? High to low? What do you want to see, Connor?
I think you really got to get some picks here moving if you're Ohio State. Just free up some momentum either for, like I said, Mayer or Matthews, and let them have a good look at goal and take a shot at Entenmann.
It's Ben Mayer with the shorty. Mayer, that's his strong side. Takes another shot, intercepted immediately. Sean Light, the freshman from Scotch Plains, New Jersey.
You see Ohio State just drew one up from Mayer there. He tried to do it all himself, a little spin move to free himself up, and was just too wide of the mark.
Chris Kavanaugh with the ball. Now gives it to Eric Dobson. Dobson was one of the key players on that championship run last year. Face on. The MVP in the Sun Bowl for Notre Dame football this past season. So a dual sport athlete has really come on and been a key part of the success for the Fighting Irish. That was a tough shot by Dobson. Will stay with Notre Dame.
You'll take that if you're Ohio State. Pretty long shot from Dobson running away from the goal. So you'll live with that if you're Ohio State.
Colin Brown, he checked the ball out of the stick of Kavanaugh, but couldn't get the ground ball, and Ohio State really wishes they could have that back.
Absolutely. Every possession's key here in this one with a scoring offense like Notre Dame. So if Ohio State, every stop is going to matter here down the stretch.
Taylor, right in front of the crease. Oh, my God, what a goal. It's Chris Kavanaugh. I don't even know if he looked at that one.
Oh, just what a job by Kavanaugh. He just sneaks down there in front of the crease. No one really picks him up for Ohio State. Just flicks it behind his back. Every day of the offense, that's pretty easy here for Kavanaugh. To the average person, that looks practically insane. Just flips it behind his back. Fayak has no clue what is coming at him, and Notre Dame out to a 2-0 lead. I mean, how do you defend that? You really can't if you're Ohio State.
Jake Taylor with the assist, 11th goal of the season for Chris Kavanaugh. And Ohio State could really use a face-off win right now, but Notre Dame has other plans. Ball still on the ground. It's Marcus Hudgens. The defensive star for Ohio State leads the Big Ten in caused turnovers per game. There he is, number 11 on your screen. This Notre Dame team, this riding defense is insane, but Gannon Matthews putting the moves on.
That's big by Matthews. He had to clear that in. Shot clock was getting close to 60, so he was just able to get it across, and Ohio State could really use a goal here because it feels like after that Kavanaugh goal, Notre Dame's just coming out. They're fired up after that one, so Ohio State, just to get into the momentum a little bit, would be big.
Ari Allen, the speedster. Try to get past the corner of Entenmann. Was guarded up against by Carter Parlett. There's Blake Island. He used to be more of a defensive mid. He has turned on to the offensive side for Ohio State. He's been a bright spot as well.
Just shows the versatility that some of these players for Ohio State can bring to the table.
Allen got decked to the ground as he set the screen, but trying to help out. "15 seconds on the shot clock. Matthews slips, fires it. The shot clock will not reset as it did not touch the goal or Entenmann, so 9 seconds on the shot clock.
If you're Ohio State, you have to try to get funneled to the front of the goal and as quickly as possible with only 9 seconds and get a shot, or just dump it into the opposite corner and just take your turnover.
Allen's now going to dump it as he tripped, and Ohio State's offense unsuccessful again with their possession.
They perhaps would have had a look there, but Allen was slipped on the turf. You saw Matthews earlier in that possession slip. It's been a little rainy here. That's something to watch out for. Can players really keep their footing so far? But Allen just tripped, and all he could really do was just throw it in the corner and allow his defense to reset.
As Connor said, the meteorologist, it did rain yesterday, so the turf could be a little slippery. We saw some rain, but nonetheless, everyone wanted to show up no matter what the conditions were.
Now, fun fact, I used to want to be a meteorologist when I was younger, so I'm just going back to the old heyday.
So would you say it's partly cloudy, fully cloudy? How would you just describe
I would say
it?
mostly cloudy. There's a little sun shining through, but...
All right. Well, if you're ever watching the weather one day, it could be Connor's job. Never know.
That's the backup, I guess, if sports broadcasting doesn't work out.
I like that plan. Bescanel. He'll move it around into the stick of who other but Chris Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh sneaks it past the corner of Fayok. Fired up 3-0.
And just Kavanaugh once again, second goal. This time he doesn't owe himself, doesn't need the assist, just runs around from the X and sneaks one past the left shoulder of Caleb Fayok. And for Ohio State here, how can Caleb Fayok respond? Because this is his toughest test I think he's faced all season, arguably. And he gave up 3 straight goals to start versus Cleveland State earlier this season. He locked in, didn't allow a goal for pretty much the rest of the first half. Can he get back into that momentum? Because in that one, you could see the body language on his face. It wasn't very happy. He's got to lock in and respond here for Ohio State. You know you can do it. Now you just have to do it.
Tommy Burke, the face-off specialist for Ohio State, struggling. Hasn't won a face-off today. In the last 2 top 25 matchups, he was not the victorious face-off specialist in either matchup. And right now, Will Lynch absolutely playing his best and winning the possessions. There's Devin McClain, fires Fayok with the save. You have to think that's going to give you some confidence for the freshman.
I mean, like I was just mentioning, you have to lock in your Fayok. You know you can do it. You had that 3-0 hole in that Cleveland State game, so you just have to lock in and do it.
We're going to have an offsides penalty, delayed penalty coming up. Pat Kavanaugh went a little bit across the halfway point trying to ride Connor Camille, the captain in Ohio State. They can take their time now.
Absolutely. You know you got that penalty in your back pocket, so draw up the best look you can, and you'll have the man-up opportunity coming here after this possession.
3-man officiating crew today. Dave Pansario, Hans Wittelsberger, and Josh Sexton, your 3 officials on the field. McKenna comes at GLE. He's one of the bigger bodies on the field, showcasing that size. McKenna will shoot. Ensiman Sheen tried to scoop it in, and we have ourselves another penalty. No shot clock reset. Coach Myers looking to have the possession, but we will have some penalties coming up. We will see in just a moment.
Ohio State, they took all the time they needed on the possession. McKenna just wrapped around, couldn't score. And Myers is pretty much on the Notre Dame side of the field. He's trying to argue that Ohio State could keep that possession going, but he's going to win it.
So a technical foul, 30 seconds on Kavanaugh for offsides, and then another foul on Notre Dame's Marco Napoleano.
I think they got him with a bit of a slash. So Ohio State, little man-up opportunity here. You think they really want to take advantage of this here. Down 3-0 early on.
There are 2 men up on the field, an extra man opportunity where Ohio State has not been the best this season in terms of man-up offense. 52nd in the NCAA in their man-up offense. In Notre Dame, man down, 61st in their defense. But this man down defense that's down 2 guys, successful.
And you like the idea if you're Sheehan there, who's just trying to wrap around and just dump into the net. But you have the two-man up. You have to dish that off. You were blanketed too hard. If you just pass it away, you get a better look.
No bueno for Ohio State. They've had some slow starts this season, and they're off 2-1 against Notre Dame, down 3-0. And the defense from Johnny Cool and Colin Brown. And there's Trent DeChico. Timeout from Coach Myers.
Gannon Matthews really the X factors here on offense so far this season for Ohio State.
There's Ben Mayer up top. And now it's all even, so Ohio State did not get a shot off in that 7 seconds. They were a man up. Matthews one-on-one with the shorty. Matthews fires past Entenmann. Another block from Liam Entenmann.
I mean, he's not Defensive Player of the Year and Goalie of the Year in the ACC for no reason. Just another tough save. A little bouncer, just able to snare it, coming off a 14-save performance against Maryland. He's having himself a first quarter so far.
USA Lacrosse Magazine preseason Goalie of the Year. Won Goalie of the Year last season. NCAA All-Tournament team. The accolades go on for number 44 in goal, the netminder, doing his job to a T today. Now it's Eric Dobson. You have to think with no Bobby Van Buren, this is a big loss for Ohio State. The eraser, as Coach Myers likes to call him, not on the field. Johnny Cool, he'll get to play some more minutes now with no Van Buren.
And this is big because it's really just for Ohio State, next man up mentality. Who wants to step up in favor of Van Buren today? And you got a tough test here in Notre Dame and the Kavanaugh brothers.
Big Tasty, big block. Shot clock resets to 60 seconds. Fresh full minute for the Fighting Irish. There's Marcus Hudgens against Pat Kavanaugh. Hudgens relentless on defense, the Army transfer. Chris Kavanaugh was looking for the hat trick already. Notre Dame retains possession.
If you're Ohio State, you have to stick to Chris Kavanaugh like glue. He's already got 2 in that quarter. He was able to find space that time, looking for a third. If you want to get back in this game, you can't let Chris Kavanaugh take over. The goal scorer of the 2 Kavanaugh brothers, he's had a tremendous season so far, so you have to stick to him.
There's Devin McClain, a transfer from Brown. McClain, who won ACC Offensive Player of the Week. He's got 2 shots on goal. And Caleb Fayok finds Johnny Cool.
Might be one of the coolest names in the Big Ten, literally.
Coolest
in the
name.
name.
Did there. Connor Canfield, good with his words. Matt Caputo's on the field as well for Ohio State. They'll make some substitutions, get their offensive middies on, including Dylan McGee and Blake Island. So Ohio State's defense, again, a good job not allowing Notre Dame. It looks like Fayok's starting to get more comfortable in goal. Blake Island, the bounce shot, tried to go past Entenmann. He was fired up at his defensive player, and Ross Bergmaster, who didn't slide in time.
So Ohio State, they're getting shots off. It's just not a lot of them have been on target so far, and the ones that have, Entenmann has made the stops. If you're Ohio State, you just need to get some more on target. Make Entenmann really work here in this one because he's not getting many on target so far, and he's just been able to stop him.
4 shots on goal for Ohio State out of their 11 shots today.
6 on just 9 for Notre Dame, so they've been a lot more efficient with the shots so far.
Ohio State will have to go. Not much time left in the quarter. They could really use a goal. Matthews. That's the fire. Oh, Marinier just lost the ball, and that's going to end the quarter. Marinier had a real good shot to whip one past Entenmann, but nonetheless, we end the quarter 3-0. Quick thoughts on Notre Dame's play in the first.
Just defensively, they've just been great. They're forcing Ohio State to kind of take shots away from the goal. They're not able to really get in tight in front of Entenmann. They had to take a lot of outside shots, and you've seen so far. We just mentioned it, 11 shots overall for the Buckeyes, only 4 on goal so far. So if you're Notre Dame, you'll let them outshoot you, but you'll take what you have so far.
Second quarter next on Big Ten Plus after the break. So we have ourselves a switch in the face-off X for Ohio State. It's Jack Oltman, who's 9 of 19 this season. Hasn't played much in the face-off X, but he's going to take over for Tommy Burke at the moment from Pickering, Ontario. Went to the Hill Academy School, and Ohio State's changing face-off. Will Lynch says, I can do it all.
Doesn't matter. Bring me whoever you got. I'll win it every time. That's now 5 for Notre Dame to just 0 for Ohio State.
So for Ohio State's offense, they really have not found their rhythm. Yes, Entenmann's been stopping a lot of their shots. How do they do so in the second quarter to get a ball past of Entenmann?
I think you really just have to work some picks and some backdoor movement for Ohio State. It feels like they're just running around the arc so far, trying to get Matthews and Mayer some looks. Slip one of them behind or slip someone else behind for Notre Dame, and make the Fighting Irish work. And that might just work out a little bit for Ohio State.
Dobson's shot was intercepted a little bit as Connor Camille got the back of his stick and tipped the ball out of bounds. Number 8 against number 8.
I mean, that shot was high. I don't think that's all on Notre Dame right there. Like you said, Camille just got the stick to the back and forces a reset.
Dobson's pass, it's saved. It's Pat Cavanaugh. The highly anticipated matchup underway here in Columbus. 5 seconds on the shot clock. McLean in front to Taylor. And Colin Brown's going to pick up the ground ball. There's the wheels. Colin Brown, the long stick, tried to get the shot. Could have been a thing of beauty and fired up this crowd, but nonetheless, Ohio State has a possession. They need to score here.
Absolutely, and like you said, like I've been saying right there, Ohio State, another good look, just not able to get it on target. They really just have to put some on the net. Entenmann's been perfect so far, but if you put just more and more on the net, he's not going to stop all of them. You just need a goal here in this one somehow, some way.
Ohio State looking for their first goal of the day with a sold-out crowd here at their home field. They're 8-2 at their new Lacrosse Stadium all time. Blake Island in front. He's got the first goal of the day. Ohio State on the board.
Much needed for Ohio State. You needed something before the game could potentially get out of hand, and they find Island. It wasn't Mayer, it wasn't Matthews, it was Island. Somehow, someway, Ohio State had to get a goal, and they do it exactly just that. Look at that little spin move to the left, just slips past Fison that time for Notre Dame, and the Buckeyes are on the board.
That's a pretty goal right there from Blake Island. Fires up the crowd, his 4th of the season. Student manager Miles Bellotti told me earlier this week, as Pat McAfee talks about the Notre Dame team all week on his show, he said it's time for Ohio State to be talked about by Pat McAfee. And if Ohio State can keep doing what they just did, maybe McAfee might mention them on the show this week.
Maybe, but Ohio State still got a lot of work to do in this one, down by 2 against a tough Fighting Irish squad, but it's a good start.
Will Lynch with the shot, the save from Fayok, and just like that, Big Tasty having a big impact.
I mean, he's leading the Big Ten and goals allowed on average and save percentage so far. Stepping in earlier than he might have thought, but he's showing why he was the top goaltender in the class last year. He's just a big presence in front of that goal. They call him Big Tasty, and he's got a lot of agility in front of there. He can move. He makes a nice stop there.
The next man up mentality, Fayok, starting to get more comfortable. We've seen this a lot from him, where he gives up a couple goals in the beginning and starts to get really comfortable in goal. The young man is from Maryland, starting to find his rhythm. In Ohio State, could they continue their momentum on offense? Ariane the speedster. Allen with the turnaround shot. 22 seconds on the shot clock for Ohio State.
Allen that time tried to catch Notre Dame off guard. You think he's going to wheel back out towards the center. Instead, just a little jump shot spinning around and just off target.
Ed Sheehan for Ari Allen. Ari Allen with the goal. Now that's a big-time assist. What a feed and what a shot, top right corner.
It's a great find by Sheehan that time. He just finds Ari Allen on the cut. Second goal of the season there for the junior out of Atlanta, Georgia. He had a goal against Cleveland State. That's what Ohio State needs to do. In that first quarter, you saw them just running around that arc, trying to take that outside shot. Instead, now they're starting to cut towards the goal. Allen comes free, slips into the middle there, and just fires one at Entenmann. And if you just keep firing at him, he's not going to stop anything. As you took another look at it, just goes right over the top, almost a bar down there for Ohio State. And Entenmann, he can't stop anything. You just got to keep everything, he's got to keep firing on goal.
Really quick shot from Allen, just quick release immediately, and that's what threw Entenmann off guard. Tommy Burke back in the face-off X. Ohio State trying something here, and we have a penalty. It will be called on Greg Langemeyer.
It's not going to make the Ohio State crowd too happy there. The Boo Birds are out so far, but that was a big hit right off that face-off.
Langemeyer just crushed Will Lynch. Now the official will discuss exactly what they're going to call. Will this be non-releasable? Will this be a technical foul? We will see. Coach Myers awaits the call as well. So it's going to be a full-time direct to the helmet contact, and that's a big blow for Ohio State, who just got their second goal of the day, and Greg Langemeyer can't afford that for Ohio State. What'd you think of the call, Connor?
Absolutely not. That was just such a big hit. I really didn't see the full area where it was hit. They said it was a blow to the head, but that's huge for Ohio State because that's a non-releasable penalty. And when you get those two goals, you're getting back into it. And just a blow like that, now you just have to go on the man-down defense. But best in the Big Ten, 81% of their man-down opportunities they're able to ward off. So Ohio State, good at what they can do in that aspect, but 2 minutes non-releasable, that's just a tough blow.
That man-down defense is 81%, but we have ourselves a goal. It's Pat Cavanaugh this time, fired one real quick, just right into the man-up offense, and Notre Dame takes back their 2-goal lead.
Just like we said that could be a killer penalty. It turns out to be a killer penalty so far. Just 17 seconds in, a goal. Pat Cavanaugh getting in on it that time. Just a low little bouncer, and Fyack just not able to drop the hips fast enough. As you see, take another look at it, just bounces it to the low right side. Fyack just isn't able to slide over in time. And Notre Dame back up by 2.
The non-releasable penalty, very tough call for Ohio State. And they're just 17 seconds into the man down. Face-off violation on Tommy Burke, so Notre Dame's way. Went just a bit early, according to the officiating crew.
That's something that has to improve for Ohio State. 7 face-off wins for Notre Dame. Ohio State has yet to win one.
Gain those possessions. It's key, Connor.
It's a 2-goal lead. It's a very close game. That could certainly just be the difference so far.
Dobson, he'll fire. Fyack gets the stick right in front of his helmet. That was a quick shot by Eric Dobson.
I mean, that had some heat on it. Fyack might have been just more about instinctually protecting the head there rather than stopping the shot. Even though he's got that helmet on, you see a ball coming in at 80 miles an hour, you're just going to put that stick up in front of your face and hope for the best.
Notre Dame will move it around. Dobson will fire again. And Dobson is successful this time. Fires it past Fyack. Another goal for Eric Dobson. That's his 4th goal of the season.
And Notre Dame that time, just an excellent distribution on that possession. You see Cavanaugh, Dobson, and just a little left-handed shot. Smokes it into the back of the cage. And Notre Dame, off that penalty, they take advantage of scored two so far through the first minute, and they still got 59 seconds to go. And when you're winning faceoffs like they have so far, At Chuge, you expect that Lynch is going to win another one. That gives you another chance at a possession here with that man-up opportunity.
So what do you do if you're Ohio State right now? They've tried to change their face-off specialist up. They're still in a man-down situation. Well, what's the strategy, Connor?
I think right now you just have to really just press up on defense. Try to just make sure you can't really give up any open looks right now, which is tough to do. You're down a man here. We're going to see a timeout on the field.
Timeout on the field.
Timeout, Notre Dame. They're back up to 3 goals as their lead. And this Notre Dame team, with 46 seconds to go, what will they draw up during the timeout? We'll be back in just a moment on Big Ten Plus, 5-2 Fighting Irish.
This year, you go and get a guy like that, just helps your chances out.
No doubt about it, as Notre Dame looks to capitalize on this full-time 2-minute penalty against Greg Langemeyer of Ohio State. Could they add another goal to their tally? Dobson, he'll fire, stops it as Fayok gets low to the ground as Big Tasty.
Just able to get his shin out there and just knock it away, but Notre Dame still knocking on the doorstep.
Chris Kavanaugh, hat trick.
Notre Dame goal. Number 50, Chris.
I mean, Notre Dame right now just taking advantage of the penalty, just kicking Ohio State, it feels like, while they're down. That's now 3 on this penalty. A huge killer blow there for Ohio State. And Fayok was able to stop the last shot, but wasn't able to get it to a Buckeye. Really nothing he can do to control it. It just rolls right back out to Notre Dame. You see Kavanaugh to Kavanaugh, the brother connection that time. And Notre Dame out by 4 here. 9 minutes, 20 seconds left to go in the second quarter.
13 goals on the season for number 50 in the Navy in the gold. And Ohio State will finally get their first face-off win. Ball went out of bounds on Notre Dame. But Ohio State still man down for just 6 seconds, and then they'll finally be back to even. They need to cut this deficit.
Absolutely. You feel like you need a goal here. You still got a lot of time left in this one, but you just feel the momentum just going more and more towards Notre Dame. A goal here would do Ohio State, I think, some wonders.
We're all even in Columbus. Notre Dame up 4. Lake Island will have it up top. Island, he has a goal today. Some nifty moves, gets in front of the net with Entenmann, and he stops that one. What a brick wall Liam Entenmann has been.
Try to go copy and paste Island did of his first goal, little spin move to the left. Entenmann said, not that time. I saw what you did the first time. I'll stop it this time. And Ohio State coming up empty once again.
That's the 4th save of the day for Liam Entenmann. With 8 minutes to go in the second quarter, Notre Dame up 4. Jordan Faison. He had a couple goals last week against Maryland. He's a freshman. Connor Camille trying to get on the backside of Dobson and check his stick. But Notre Dame will keep the possession.
That was almost disastrous. Camille there kind of gave up his leverage that time and tried to knock it off the back of the stick. That could have been dangerous for Ohio State, but Notre Dame retains.
And Ohio State sliding properly with Johnny Cool. Jake Taylor's shot blocked by Jake Snyder.
It's just the first shot of the game for Jake Taylor, leading goal scorer for the Fighting Irish so far this year, sitting at 15. We haven't said his name too much, but he can certainly put his impact on this game.
Taylor has an assist today, but that's it. As you just mentioned, Fayok, another save. Oh, and Fayok's pass intercepted by McLean. Now Notre Dame's in front of the goal. Taylor, his shot, it didn't go past the goal line.
I mean, that's mere centimeters, it felt like. That one hit the right post and almost scored it in. Fayok almost got burned right there, turned it over. A little bit of a careless turnover, but he gets away with it, and Ohio State here could really use something.
Fayok, you have to feel a little lucky because of the way everything just went down.
Whew. Some might say Notre Dame's got the luck of the Irish on their hand, but Ohio State might have taken some of it on that possession.
Now Ohio State, they could use a goal once again. They have not led it all in this game. It's been Notre Dame's game all day. Dylan McGee try to get it to McKenna, and Sheehan will save it. Good pick by McKenna. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Caputo, he stared at the shot clock quickly. They have to go. Caputo to Sheehan behind the back. And Notre Dame's defense clamping up again.
And Notre Dame so far in this day, oh!
Intercepted! Goal! It's Gannon Matthews! Takes it back to the goal immediately.
It's number 24, Gannon Matthews.
Huge for Ohio State. And an uncharacteristic, careless turnover for Notre Dame. That's something when we talked to Kevin Corrigan earlier this week about, he said his team needs to be better about taking care of the ball. They're still working on that aspect. And just that time, a careless turnover, and Matthews just takes advantage of it for Ohio State. You see across the field, not looking, was a Lacrosse for Notre Dame, and Matthews says, thank you very much, I'll take that. And Ohio State was a much-needed goal here late in the second quarter.
And Lacrosse heads to the bench after that turnover. Wow. Could that have juiced things up for Ohio State? It could juice things up a little further.
That Ohio State bench was fired up after that goal. But what I was about to say before that turnover, Notre Dame's just done such a good job of keeping Ohio State out of the middle of the field. They're really just making them work around the arc. Ohio State just having to work on that X, try to work it back out. Every time Ohio State's tried to cut towards the cage, they've been cut off by Notre Dame.
Now Ohio State with plenty of time on the shot clock. Ari Allen, the speedster. 6-3 Notre Dame. But there seems to be a little bit of a buzz in the crowd right now. Allen's shot will go out of bounds. Ohio State will stay with it.
You see right there, Allen was just able to find a little bit of space inside, wrap around the net from the X, try to bounce one in, but Ohio State that time was able to get a little closer than that. That's a good look.
This Ohio State team, lots of fight in them, scrappy. And it starts with Coach Myers, who teaches that day in and day out at practice. Can they fight their way back? Matt Caputo saves it, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Caputo fires it right at Entman, but the shot clock will reset. A big break, in Ohio State will use their timeout.
Won a couple of them, but just getting some extra face-offs would be huge for Ohio State so far. If you stick within the 3-point margin for Ohio State, you're well within it. You know you can stick around with Notre Dame. Just can't have silly mistakes like that penalty earlier on in this quarter.
Notre Dame still has one timeout remaining with 4:13 to go in the first half. Ohio State, they definitely drew a couple things up. Will it work out for them on this possession? Marinier. Matthews at X.
It feels like Ohio State's threatening. So close to striking. It's just, can they convert?
And a bouncer from Jack McKenna. So Ohio State's starting to get some shots, but they need to get it past Liam Entman. That's no easy task.
They're just peppering right now. Just can't get a lot of them on goal. Only 8. Both teams taking over 20 shots here in this one. Notre Dame has just been able to get more of them on goal, and it's shown so far.
McKenna, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Marinier, another stop by Liam Entman's foot.
But Ohio State retains once again. Unfortunately for them, the shot clock did not reset. And so Notre Dame flirted with disaster there, but they're able to escape.
It hit the foot of Liam Entman, so shocking that there was no call for a shot clock reset.
And you didn't see a lot of argument on the Ohio State sideline, too. That looked like it did hit Entman's foot, so there should have been a reset. So Notre Dame, I mean, they were just getting peppered, but Ohio State nothing to show for it that time.
Ohio State, a week from now, will face #1 Denver at the moment in the polls. So they've had a couple top teams they faced against this season, especially on the road. This is the first time back in a month here in Ohio playing a home game. Another good job by Caleb Fyock. Kevin Corrigan's on the field right now, yelling with the officiating crew in Ohio State. They'll need to clear it.
He's fuming. I mean, the hat is off.
We had the chance to speak to Coach Corrigan this week. Luckily, the hat was off, but it was in a calm manner. He was a true gentleman, 36 years, and what a joy to talk to when you get to pick the mind of a lacrosse coach of that stature. It's a special time for everybody that's in the room.
Absolutely. I mean, just like you said, a real gentleman, a pleasure to talk to. Took the time out for us, and it's such a big opportunity for us as student broadcast just to talk to a coach of that mind. You can really learn a lot in just a 15-minute conversation.
No doubt about it. Coach Corrigan doesn't want to compare this team to last year's national championship team. Says this team has its own identity and just needs to win games if they want to get back to the Final Four. McKenna came topside, fired quickly. 23 seconds on the shot clock. Ohio State, if they can get a goal to go into halftime down 2, the momentum would really help them out and would get this crowd on their feet as well. Less than 10. Gannon Matthews tried to find inside. Turnover, Ohio State.
That's a great job by the Notre Dame defense. Matthew, if you think of an NBA 2K game, he was just flicking the right analog stick back and forth to little just back and forth crossover moves, but they were sticking right with him. And Notre Dame with another stop.
Final timeout used by Notre Dame. Kevin Corrigan calls that with 47.9 seconds to go. 6-3 Notre.
Pat Cavanaugh, he's really what some might call the quarterback of this Notre Dame offense. A lot of the offense goes through him. Get the ball in his hands and let him go to work, whether that be a goal or do what he does best, distribute the ball. Coming in with 15 assists on the year, 10 over the first 2 games of the season. He can really just set you up on that offensive end for Notre Dame.
There's your Ohio State defense. Colin Brown, Eli Fisher on the screen. Marcus Hudgens right there, who leads the Big Ten. So you have some defensive keys for Ohio State that will need to do their job for for the final less than a minute in this half.
Ohio State can get away with a stop and get into this half with a 6-7 deficit. That's, 6-3 deficit. Not sure where the 7 came from. That's a big win for Ohio State. Just a 3-0 first quarter for Notre Dame, but they've been pretty equal here with the Fighting Irish in the second.
Notre Dame will take their time and move it around. Eli Fisher.
Just going to hold, it looks like, till the end of the half. You have the advantage of the shot clock. You can do that.
Eli Fisher in the dog position, as Coach Myers likes to call, from Wagner. Notre Dame will turn it over. So this Ohio State team executes. And Connor Camille is going to go quick. 5 seconds. Camille in Ohio State almost got it off in time. The speedy Camille tried to find Eli Fisher right in front of the net. It was a good idea. But it's 6-3. Ohio State's defense holds down the fort.
6 NCAA tournament appearances since 1990. This program, they know how to win it. And so does that man, Kevin Corrigan. I mean, what a tremendous coach.
Jack Oldman coming in with the faceoff, but is checked immediately. Ball on the ground. Will Lynch running the length of the field, but checked by Trent DeChico and Johnny Cool.
You just look at the start the second half. Back-to-back cause turnovers, one for each side. If either team can really start to lock in defensively and start causing a lot of turnovers, that could be huge and a big turning point here as we get onto the second half.
Lots of scrappiness and aggressive play already. We're not even a minute into this third quarter. You have to think both teams are fired up. Notre Dame wants to put Ohio State away and get another big win on the road, whereas Ohio State wants to upset the third-ranked team in the country and the national champions. Matthews up top. Entenmann, another stop.
He's just a brick wall. Matthews was able to get that, try to go bottom right corner on the bouncer, and Entenmann just drops down, is able to just snag it. A good shot for Ohio State to start, just nothing going. Entenmann, nothing getting past him here today.
Notre Dame looks to get some offensive middies on. They do with Dobson in McLean. Pat Kavanaugh trying to put the moves on against Marcus Hudgens. Kavanaugh's goal. It will be denied. The shot denied by Pat Kavanaugh. Thought that went past the 5-hole of Fayok.
Yeah, I tell you what, it didn't look like Fayok stopped that, but he was just able to knock it down, and it just hid underneath Fayok. So you see Ohio State, they have Hudgens, the long stick on Kavanaugh, trying to make it hard for him to really distribute or get towards that goal. But, man, he got around Hudgens that time, and all he could really do was just whack him in the back with a stick, and Fayok just made a nice stop.
What a goal! Caputo fired it. Matt Caputo gets the Buckeyes within 2.
And Caputo just went with a rocket top shelf. Allen that time off the feed was able to find Caputo on the cut. And there he is from distance, just smokes it right past Entenmann. Ohio State with the goal to start the second half. Exactly what the doctor ordered that time. They're within 2. And going back to that second quarter, off that penalty, once they're able to start getting some stops, feels like a lot of the momentum has gone towards Ohio State. This one can certainly get interesting down the stretch.
First goal of the season for Matt Caputo and Jack Oldman with the faceoff win, but the pass is denied at first. And Notre Dame will get the grab. Also, Oldman won the faceoff and then tried to get to Hudgens. can't afford those mistakes.
Absolutely not. When you're down within 2 here, every possession matters. And so giving your opponent extra shots at it, not what you want.
Notre Dame will move it around. Riley Gray at X against Johnny Cool. Ohio State's defense not allowing a shot on this possession. Chris Kavanaugh, 3 goals today, clamped up by Langenmeyer. Riley Gray sneaks it past Caleb Fayok, and we have ourselves a goal for Notre Dame, back to a 3-point lead.
Notre Dame just able to respond right there. Every time that Ohio State has really tried to make a run at this, Notre Dame has been right there to push them back down the ladder. And a big goal back within 3. If you're Notre Dame, you're happy with sticking at this margin here in this game. You can live with that, and just a nice little bouncer. Fayok not able to really get a read on it. And the Fighting Irish back out by 3.
Can Oldman have some luck in the face-off X? Will Lynch, another face-off win for Notre Dame.
Hasn't been the Buckeye specialty, but it feels like ever since they've went to Oldman here, it's been a lot better for Ohio State. They've won a lot more, and that's nothing on Tommy Burke. Tremendous in the face-off circle, but just sometimes you have your match, and for him, it might have been Will Lynch. But since making that switch, while they might not have won it there, it's been a lot better for the Buckeyes.
Kavanaugh up top to Dobson. Dobson, a force to be reckoned with, and Connor Camille with the check. Marcus Hudgens sliding his feet properly and doing a great job against Pat Kavanaugh. Colin Brown, the defense. Relentless. And look at Marcus Hudgens causing another turnover. Here comes Ohio State. Justin Scherer.
I mean, that was just textbook by Colin Brown on that last possession. Slid the feet, just a little check to the back, was able to knock Kavanaugh down. And he still was able to get up and find someone streaking towards the net. Just it was a little bit off target. Hudgens, of course, came with it, and a big turnover there for Ohio State.
Ohio State's defense helping out. Now can the offense get back within 2? Here comes Blake Island with the shorty in the swim move. Now Ohio State's at 20 seconds on the shot clock. They've been taking their time on their possessions. Will it pay off again? Caputo, second goal of the day. It's Matt Caputo time.
Well, you just asked, will it pay off? Pay off it did. Caputo just able to get right inside. That's what I keep saying. If Ohio State can get inside towards that crease, they stand a better chance at getting some of these shots on goal. And Caputo, just a little move inside, was able to slip past, and Ohio State sticking within striking distance of Notre Dame. You just got to string together some goals, take another look at it. Caputo just goes right to the right, gets past his defender, and a lock well for Notre Dame, and slips it in. And it's now 9-7. Notre Dame's still in front, but Ohio State just sticking right around this 2 to 3 point margin, just looking for a string of consecutive goals here.
That got the crowd fired up here in Columbus. Down 2 are the Buckeyes. And Tommy Burke back in the faceoff X, wins the faceoff. Here comes Langenmeyer. Marinier Bounces it past Entenmann and almost erupted in here.
I would have sent that place into a frenzy. But Ohio State, if on the offense end, you got to keep the pedal to the metal. Notre Dame's back on their heels a little bit right now, it feels like. So you just have to keep the foot down to the floor and get back within one here.
You have to think Caputo could be the guy.
Absolutely. No goals coming to this one, 2 so far.
Plenty of time on the shot clock for Ohio State to cut this to a 1-goal deficit here in Columbus. Mayer, GLE. Now to Ari Allen. Allen up top to Caputo. Oh, and Caputo's pass just past the stick of Marinier. Did you like the decision on the pass from Caputo?
I think it was a good decision. It looked like they started to mark him there as he went for that shot. He had to look for a split second, didn't take it, and so Notre Dame was able to come out on defense. It was a good idea to drop it off, just have to put down target. Could not have a turnover like that here in this stake.
For Ohio State, you have to think, oh, what if Marinier held on to that and could have taken a one-timer?
He was open. I mean, he didn't really have anyone in front of him. It was a good idea on that pass, just not executed for Ohio State.
Now Notre Dame back on offense. Ohio State's defense this second half really doing a good job limiting the Kavanaugh brothers. There's Pat Kavanaugh. Now to Chris. Riley Gray, who had the last goal for the Fighting Irish, has the ball now. Bussenkel with 15 on the shot clock. Notre Dame continues to move it around. Now 10. Justin Scherer with the defense. And Hudgens, ground ball.
And Scherer that time just able to put the body weight into what I looked like was Riley Gray that time for Notre Dame. Forced a turnover. And Ohio State defensively in this hat, outside of that 1 goal, has really locked in, causing a lot of turnovers. Now up to 6 caused turnovers in this game. They average 9.5 on the season.
That's 19th in the NCAA, so Ohio State's top 20 in causing turnovers, led by Marcus Hudgens, but this time it was Justin Scherer. Scherer, the graduate transfer from Maryland. Island cuts it to a 1-goal game. Blake Island's second goal of the day. And these Buckeyes are fired up.
I mean, my, are they fired up. Island that time getting on the party. 5th goal of the season, 2nd one in this game. And it feels like ever since that penalty for Ohio State on Langermeyer, they have taken control of this game. You see, Island just able to turn the corner that time, slip it past Entenmann, and Ohio State all of a sudden are back within 1. Putting number 3, Notre Dame, on the ropes here in this one. Still a lot of time left to play, however. Ohio State, you have the momentum now. You have to keep it going.
And Burke with another face-off win. This just got more interesting. But Ohio State needs to get it across the field. And they'll do it with Gannon Matthews. Matthews with a shifty move. He'll pull it out now with a fresh 60.
I'll tell you, one person we haven't really said the name of today is Ben Mayer, one of the leading goal scorers for Ohio State. He's only taken 2 shots. Notre Dame's done a tremendous job of keeping you off the board. They've distributed well, but you have to imagine, if you can get Mayer going, that could be huge for Ohio State.
Ed Sheehan also quiet today, who was coming into the season as the leading point scorer. Jack McKenna, a forced shot. Wasn't the best idea, was it?
You would have to want a better look if you're Ohio State. McKenna just not able to get anything on that, was blanketed that time, and not the best look.
Now Notre Dame, can they convert? After Jack McKenna's shot, that wasn't the strongest shot. Coach Justin Tuma in his first year, the assistant coach chatting with Jack McKenna. Jordan Faison. Almost had a nice assist to Devin McLean, whose shot goes way high.
It was a good idea. McLean just wasn't able to get enough on it. Reigning ACC Offensive Player of the Week, has been scoreless so far on the goals and hasn't dished out an assist so far.
Dobson now clamped up against Colin Brown, and Notre Dame will move it around. The Fighting Irish. Do they have some luck in them to get another goal? Faison! What a pretty shot! Top right corner.
Number 14, Jordan Faison.
The football player to lacrosse player.
State 6, Notre Dame 8.
It's too easy for number 14 sometimes. We've seen it all season long, and that's his first goal of the day.
He can do it all. Football, lacrosse, doesn't matter. Just goes top shelf, past Fiak, and every time Ohio State seems to get a little momentum, Notre Dame strikes back. And so they just want to keep this going. Ohio State looking to stay within this mark. This is going to be a interesting one as we go down the stretch. What team can really just out-hit each other? It feels like a boxing match right now. Little blow right to the mouth. Ohio State will come back right with one. Notre Dame will come back with another one themselves. Who can get that knockout blow in this one?
Now Jake Taylor with the shot. Could have been bad news for the Buckeyes when Notre Dame will have the possession. That was the 10th goal of the season for Jordan Faison.
Tell you what, I thought he was about to bury that one. That one looked on target, just whizzed right by. But a big opportunity for Notre Dame. They still keep it.
Bryce Walker will take it back behind the goal. He's got a shorty on him with Greg Langemeyer. Again, Ohio State's defense help out once again. They've been aiding the offense a lot today. And there's Connor Camille. Look at this defense fight. Last touch by Kavanaugh.
And I mean, Camille, this place is fired up. The crowd's going crazy. The bench is electric. What a defensive play. Just able to knock that ball free. We talked about Faison. He can do it all on the football gridiron. Camille transferring to Coastal Carolina after this year with a big save.
But Ohio State couldn't convert on the clear as Langemeyer lost the ball and tripped. Ohio State's defense just did their job and barely. They couldn't make it past the halfway point. And again, those small mistakes. A Jack McKenna forced shot. The big 2-minute penalty. It's these little things that are going to really hurt Ohio State as they're down 2.
If you're Notre Dame here, just over 2 minutes left to play in this third quarter. If you can get a goal going into the break here, that's huge. Take a 3-point lead into the fourth quarter. You essentially play an even quarter. You know, it feels like Ohio State has had a lot of this third quarter.
Pat Kavanaugh losing the ball. Faison as well, but picks up the ground ball. Hudgens came a little too far out. But Ohio State does recover. Colin Brown! Oh, what a check! It's lost by Chris Kavanaugh. This Ohio State team's defense is fun to watch. America is being put on notice.
I mean, they're just locking in. Brown just whacks the long stick that time and forces the ball free. They're getting the defensive stops. Now, if they can just get a goal here in this last minute and a half and take a 1-point deficit into the fourth, that would be huge.
Gannon Matthews almost had Christian Alakwa coming in from behind. But this defense for Ohio State's not going to be talked about enough today because of the effort they're putting in and the amount of caused turnovers. They have 9 caused turnovers today. The ground ball game, the aggression, Colin Brown, Jake Snyder, Marcus Hudgens, Johnny Cool, Justin Scher. We can go on. But Travis Crane's defense has got them in the zone. Oh, and Ohio State had the timeout, but I don't think they had possession when the timeout was called.
I don't think they did either. Notre Dame, they're fuming on the sideline right now, and I think they have a gripe. That was close. I don't think they had it. But if you're Ohio State, you'll take it. Even if it's not the most maybe correct call, you get the timeout off and not get to draw something up.
So now Ohio State will have it far side near GLE area with 49.3 seconds to go. 8-6 is your score. What will Ohio State draw up after the break?
Before the break, we didn't know if Ohio State got it off in time, but they'll take it. Now with 45 seconds or so, have a big chance to get back within one.
Can they go into the fourth quarter down one? What will Ohio State set up? They have Jack McKenna, Alex Marinier up top, Cannon Matthews, Ed Sheehan, Matt Caputo, and Blake Island. Those are all their offensive players on the field. 10 seconds on the shot clock. McKenna, Marinier, yes! Down one is Ohio State. Alex Marinier, first goal today on the board. And that's huge going to the fourth.
Ohio State uses the timeout, and they set up Marinier. Just goes, a little bouncer, skips right past Entenmann there. Has a great pass by McKenna. Just drops it right through the wicket, it looks like, of Entenmann. And Ohio State back within one. Under 30 seconds left to play. Go grab some popcorn, go grab some drinks, and come back, because you're not going to want to miss this fourth quarter.
Goal number 11 of the season for Alex Marinier. Lynch and Burke in the face-off backs. Lynch flinched, and they're going to call Ohio State ball.
Huge, because when you're not winning as many face-offs as you like for Ohio State, now you just get the possession and have a chance with 20 seconds to tie this thing up.
Ohio State's had some close buzzer beaters this year. They did it twice against Bellarmine within the final few seconds. With 10 seconds, McKenna directly at Entenmann denied, and he'll just throw it down the field. And Fayak and Taylor down on the ground. The Buckeyes will go over to their teammate, make sure Caleb Fayak's all good.
I think Fayak's a little hot here. I don't think he exactly liked it. And, I mean, big collision. Fayak just came crashing down, and you see Kavanaugh just slamming the stick. Both Kavanaugh slamming their sticks down. They are fuming.
They're frustrated. Jake Taylor is hurt. Seth Faulkner, the Ohio State trainer, down there with the Notre Dame training staff. Mandy Merritt, the athletic trainer for Notre Dame. A collision by Fayak and Taylor ends the quarter, but also a Marinier goal. Buckeyes down one on upset watch here in Columbus. Fourth quarter coming up.
So they're going to have to really rely on the Kavanaughs here down the stretch in this fourth quarter until Taylor is ready to come back out there.
Taylor has all of his equipment off right now on the sideline. Now he's getting his helmet back on, and Ohio State wins the possession. Colin Brown putting the moves on. Here comes DeChico to the other side of the field. This possession could tie things up here in Columbus. It could cause for some chaos. Matthews moving around. Now he's at X with the shifty moves. .25 seconds on the shot clock, so Ohio State plenty of time to get a shot on goal. Blake Island, the bounce pass, no shot clock reset, 16 remains.
Island just was able to get in a little close, try to bounce it, just wasn't on target.
Five seconds shot clock. Ed Sheehan loses the ball. Shot clock violation. Ohio State turns it over.
Just a phenomenal defensive possession there for Notre Dame. Ohio State not really able to get a good look there on goal. They're just able to lock in defensively to start this fourth quarter and get the huge stop in a 1-point game.
Jake Taylor back on the field for Notre Dame after the collision with Caleb Fyock, the goalkeeper for Ohio State. Good to see Taylor back on the field. As Connor mentioned earlier, leading goal scorer for this Notre Dame team throughout the season.
And that's huge, just getting that goal scorer back in a 1-point game. You have to imagine Notre Dame maybe wants to get the ball to him here at some point.
Marcus Hudgens against Pat Kavanaugh. Here comes Dobson. GLE Eric Dobson with the big-time goal. Puts Notre Dame up 2.
And a big blow for Notre Dame, just able to punch Ohio State right back in the mouth. I alluded to this being a boxing match. Both teams exchanging blows. Notre Dame with the latest one there. Dobson just goes top right corner, slips it past Fyock. And the Fighting Irish back with up by 2. Huge goal to start this fourth quarter.
5th goal of the season for Eric Dobson. 2nd of the day. Dobson gets Notre Dame on the board in the fourth quarter first. Will Lynch wins the possession. Notre Dame, now they can get back to a 3-goal lead with this possession. It just felt like Ohio State was so close and now down 2.
Still a lot of time, but if you're Ohio State, you can't afford to really just stick at this 2-point mark for this entire quarter. Time's going to tick away. So Notre Dame, you just have to keep this pedal to the metal. Keep Ohio State just out of arm's reach here in this one. You'll live with this 2-point victory if you can run this out, but you would want some insurance goals if you're the Fighting Irish.
Devin McLean. They're going to call a foul. Looks to be on Colin Brown. The delayed penalty coming up. And that's tough for Ohio State. Pat Kavanaugh looks around, 20 seconds on the shot clock. Kavanaugh shot wide. Man down defense coming in for Ohio State.
Kavanaugh that time just tried to feign a little spin move to the outside, came back in and just fired wide. But a big call coming up here. Ohio State in that 2-minute non-releasable penalty earlier allowed the 3 goals. So it looks like a little, perhaps a slash I think was called, and a 1-minute man-up opportunity for Notre Dame. They took advantage earlier. Now this is a huge moment in this fourth quarter. Notre Dame really wants to take advantage of this, get an extra insurance goal onto this mark right now.
And it will be releasable if Notre Dame does score. So it's not a full time for a 1-minute slashing. Extra man offense for Notre Dame. They're 3 of 5 today with their EMO offense. Chris Kavanaugh on the doorstep. It's a goal. Jeffrey Ritchie Ordelli, the junior attackman from New Canaan, Connecticut, puts Notre Dame back up to 3.
Just a phenomenal cut inside by Ritchie Ordelli, and Kavanaugh just finding him. Did you see on the replay? Surveys, just dumps it off inside, wide open. And another goal for Notre Dame. They take advantage of the penalty once again. That has been really the big killer for Ohio State that Notre Dame has just feasted on in this one. Now the 4th man-up goal for Notre Dame this afternoon. That has been one of the huge differences in this game.
Another huge difference has been the face-off backs with Will Lynch. And Trent DeChico gets the ground ball, but is absolutely demolished by Notre Dame. Now the Buckeyes will fight for it. Caputo, he thought about trying to get to Marinade before even picking up the ball.
It's a good idea. Ohio State had numbers if he's able to get that out, just wasn't able to corral it. Just went a little too quickly, but they'll retain possession. Just a big hit. Ball comes free, a scramble for an Ohio State just somehow comes away with it. That could have easily went down the other end of the field of Notre Dame.
McGee's shot. Way high. 47-second shot clock. Ed Sheehan, been quiet today. Haven't seen much of him. Same with Dylan McGee. There's McGee. His ball pretty much intercepted there by Marco Napolitano.
And Ohio State had that big third quarter, outscored the Fighting Irish 4-2, but since then it's 2-0 Notre Dame. They've really locked in defensively, caused a couple turnovers here in this fourth quarter, has taken control so far over these first 5.5 minutes or so of this fourth.
Ohio State 4-2 on the year. This could boost their resume with a huge win at home, but they're down 3 to the reigning champs, who have a star-powered offense. Eli Fisher, the Wagner transfer, the short stick defensive midi, helping out Ohio State. 25 seconds on the shot clock for Notre Dame. Pat Kavanaugh behind the cage. Fayak with the stop. Shot clock resets. Notre Dame does so.
Big stop by Fayak. Notre Dame took all the shot clock that it needed, and Kavanaugh was just able to find someone underneath. And a good stop, but it rebounds right to Notre Dame. Another chance, and this is big because they're just running clock down as time's ticking and ticking here in this fourth quarter.
Travis Crane wanted a warding call against Notre Dame, but did not do so. And Hudgens almost had the ball, lost it. Shot, goal! Bryce Walker!
Goal for the Fighting Irish.
That's the Notre Dame's lead. They're up to 4.
And Notre Dame just pulling and pulling away here in this fourth quarter. The ball came free on that play from behind. Could have potentially been a turnover. Instead, it turns into a Notre Dame goal as Walker just bounces it in there, fired up. His Fighting Irish team has raced out to a 4-point advantage here in this fourth quarter. Now 3 goals in the quarter for Notre Dame, second on the season for Walker.
Ohio State scoreless in this quarter, after having such a phenomenal quarter number 3 coming out of halftime. Burke fighting. Now both teams are getting aggressive. Will Lynch putting his body on the line, the face-off specialist for Notre Dame. And a turnover from Trent DeChico. It's going the other way. Pat Kavanaugh will slow things down. Never mind, gives it to his brother. The Kavanaughs, they're feeling it now. 12-7 Notre Dame.
And they just started out with the check of DeChico, make him turn it over. They get it down the field to the Kavanaughs. Who else? Pat starts it off with the dish. Chris rockets it inside. As you take a look at it, Pat directing traffic, dumps off Chris. Whizzes it by Fayak, and Notre Dame all Fighting Irish here in this fourth quarter.
This has been the Chris Kavanaugh game. 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 total points today, 4 ground balls to his tally. Chris Kavanaugh, one of college lacrosse best.
He's just 3 points short of brother Pat's school record for points in a game at 10.
Ohio State down 5. Just like that, they were down 1 entering the fourth quarter. 4 straight goals for Notre Dame. Ohio State needs to go quick. Gannon Matthews up top, fires, goal! Blake Island hat trick. Ohio State with a quick goal, quick response. They're down 4 with 7:07.
It's much needed for Ohio State. Stops the Fighting Irish run as they're just able to get inside for Island. Like you said, that hat trick, point blank that time in front of Entenmann. That's a nice dish inside by Matthews just in front of the crease, is able to kind of scoop it in there. And Ohio State, big goal, but still a lot of work to be done. Notre Dame really taking control of this fourth quarter. They're up by 4.
Burke and Lynch back in the face-off X once again. The face-offs now 12-11 in Notre Dame's favor, just by 1. It did not start off that way, but Ohio State's found their rhythm. But Will Lynch finds it again, and he's going to fire. Fayok with the extra effort. He gets the possession. Big Tasty putting on the big wheels. Hudgens harassed. He does a couple moves. .640 to go. Ohio State down 4. Can they cut the deficit to 3? There's Blake Island, the leading goal scorer with the hat trick today. Marinier, he has a goal. 30 seconds on the shot clock. Ohio State's time is trickling down if they want to come back here. McKenna, goal! There's Jack McKenna, first of the day. With just a little over 6 minutes to go, it's a 3-goal deficit now for Ohio State. Things just got a little more interesting in Columbus.
And just when you think Notre Dame's starting to pull away, they get out by 5. Ohio State comes, and they get 2 of their own. Pull back within 3. McKenna just turning the corner. Little jump shot. Tried that earlier in that third quarter. It didn't work. Works that time. And Ohio State, 6 minutes to go, back within 3. But the time's starting to become a factor for the Buckeyes. Notre Dame liking where they're at. They may have given up a little bit of the momentum to Ohio State, but they have the clock on their side, and they have the lead on their side. Ohio State, big face-off win, but they need to start using a little less of the clock on their possessions.
And we have a flag coming up. Delayed penalty. Ohio State will go into the extra man up. Down 3 is Ohio State, with a penalty coming up against Notre Dame. Does Ohio State have the comeback in them? Caputo! Shot is way wide. Man up offense coming on for Ohio State. A big opportunity right here, Connor. What do they need to do in order to get another goal and get to the 10 goals for the day?
Or just keep working inside. Use that extra man advantage. Someone is going to be unmarked here in this possession. So Ohio State, you need to find the open man, and you have to take advantage of the power play. Just in a general sense, you have to take advantage of the man up. They're 0 for 5 here today. Notre Dame, on the other hand, has been phenomenal. And the man-up opportunity, 4 for 5, that's been the huge difference. So Ohio State needs to take advantage of this so far if they want to continue their comeback spurt.
Will Lynch, the face-off specialist for Notre Dame, 1-minute slashing penalty. Ohio State can cut this to a 2-goal deficit. Gannon Matthews. Liam Entenmann, who has struggled a little bit today, comes up when needed for Notre Dame.
Saving 50% of his shots, so a little below the season average, but still a pretty solid game from Entenmann. 196 saves last season. That's third in program history, having a few today.
The sliding from Ohio State. Good job there from their defense. Still some time left with an extra man on the field. And that was a big opportunity for Ohio State. Unfortunate.
It's going to be 0 for 6 today for the Buckeyes on the man-up opportunity, something they really are going to want to look at after this game, regardless of what happens in this one.
Dobson against Camille. Taylor fires, and we have a penalty. It's going to be called on Ohio State.
That's huge because Ohio State got the stop right there. And it's going to come all back. Notre Dame's going to get the chance to be on the man up, which they have been lethal here today.
It's going to be called on Connor Camille. They're going to call a push from behind on Camille.
Take a look at a little nudge in the back. Might have been a bit of a sell too by Dobson. Camille definitely looked like he gave him a little nudge.
They're going to officially call that a holding call against Camille for 30 seconds, technical foul. We're halfway through the penalty. Notre Dame's just going to waste some time potentially. There's Chris Kavanaugh. Another extra man goal. Chris Kavanaugh. 5th goal of the day, 8 points in this game.
That might have just nailed the coffin door shut for Ohio State. 5th man-up goal, like you said. That's been so huge for Notre Dame. They've gotten the opportunities, and they've taken advantage. Now the 8th point of the day by Chris Kavanaugh. 5 goals, 3 assists, putting his mark in the Notre Dame history books. I mean, what a day he's had. 15 now on the year. That might just dot the I here in this one. Still 3.5 minutes left, but the margin just widens just a little bit, and the time keeps ticking down.
Jack Oldman, face-off specialist, loses it against Will Lynch. Oldman pushed out of bounds. Ben Ramsey fell out, and Jack Oldman redeeming himself. Marinier fires. We'll stay with Ohio State.
Now they're going to want to get a little bit quicker on their possessions. 3 minutes to go in this game. You've seen them a lot in this fourth quarter. Hold it deep into the shot clock. Can't afford to do that at this point if you're Ohio State.
They're down 4 for Ohio State. Cannon Matthews. He has a goal today. Working McKenna on the doorstep. Oh, tried the BTB.
And McKenna right there, try to go behind the back like you said. He gets right in front of the crease. I think if he just takes a shot there initially when he's facing the goal, he might have a better look. He took an extra half second, and Entenmann was able to set himself.
2 minutes, 35 seconds left in this game. Notre Dame up 4. They'll have to face Michigan next. 3 Big Ten opponents in a row. It will be home on the 16th against a Michigan team that won the Big Ten last year. So another tough opponent for Notre Dame, but they're back in South Bend.
You know what Kevin Corrigan said to us? Every game's a big game, one game at a time. They're not focusing on the next week. They're focusing on what happens this week, but just a lot of big names on the schedule this year for Notre Dame. They have a tough ACC conference coming up as well.
It's a great crowd here in Ohio State, sold out to see the reigning champs. Ohio State, they were down 8-7, then this fourth quarter changed everything.
Jake Taylor there almost went bar down, a little behind the back. That would have been the crushing blow, but Notre Dame just took all the shot clock there.
And it's a goal. It's Caputo in midair.
Number 31, Matt Caputo, his third.
He's got a hat trick as well, 13-10 with a minute 21 to go.
And the Hattie for Caputo today, second for the Buckeyes. Island also has 3. And Ohio State back within 3. It just feels like the time is too insurmountable at this point. Caputo just goes to the bottom right corner. Looks like a little bouncer inside, and Ohio State, they're going to send Burke out there against Hagstrom of Notre Dame. Burke has to win this year for Ohio State.
And a quick face-off win by Tommy Burke, who gets it to Eli Fisher. Fisher will put on the wheels. Timeout, Ohio State. Now they're going to switch Allen and Blake Island to start things off. Allen coming up top. Hits the pipe.
1 minute.
Less than a minute to go.
Allen tried to bounce one right in, and that's kind of been the story for Ohio State today. A lot of shots, out shooting Notre Dame, just not enough on target.
And it hits the body of Ed Sheehan, who's stuck with it. Here comes Sheehan. Ohio State can't get a shot as time continues to wind down. We're close to the 30-second mark of the game. Matthews fighting and tried to find Jack McKenna. And with 23.2 seconds to go, it looks like Notre Dame's going to come on the road and have the luck on their side. They fought all the way, and it started with Chris Kavanaugh. Empty net for Ohio State. Fayok not in goal for Ohio State right now. It's Jack Allen in there. And that's going to do it in Columbus. Notre Dame 13, Ohio State 10. The reigning champs move on and get a big win on the road in Columbus. They move to 4-1 on the year. Ohio